I received a call from a client concerning that hot water is spewing out from his roof. I told him, okay, that might be the safety valve. He confirmed, he said, yes, he did check. It was the safety valve that was pushing water. And I discussed with him and I told him, okay, listen, just turn off the electricity to the geyser. And because it was already late at night, we discussed that I would come early the next morning and come and do inspection and do the repairs. So, firstly, my thoughts was it's the safety valve failed because it was hot water spewing from the roof. So it must have been the element maybe, and or the thermostat has failed. Either the safety valve itself prematurely failed. So, well, next day I arrived at the client's premises. I checked everything. I tested the safety valve. I tested the relief valve that was installed, and the safety valve was not faulty. However, I did find that the relief valve, it was okay, but the pipe that was installed into it was non-compliant. It was polycorp and it was not fixed. So it could have, if that thing were to relieve itself, it would have jumped out by itself. So I told the client, okay, you know what? I'm going to test your thermostat and so on. So, and I tested the thermostat and it confirmed that it was malfunctioning. It did not turn off. So I decided, okay, by standard, if you're going to replace a thermostat, you can just as well replace the element as well. Because you can't replace, let's refer to a car, you can't replace the left side of the brakes, but you can't, and you're not replacing the right side of the brakes. If I only replace the thermostat, it means I would come back later for an element that failed, because already now the element has overheated and it's got damage. So obviously have to replace the element and the thermostat. Usually in the old geysers we had to replace also the safety valve, because the safety valve had a wax gland that melted under the hot water that was relieved. But luckily the newer safety valves coming from Quicot, I enjoy Quicot products. They are actually, they've got a pop flush, you can flush it. So that one's, it can relieve and it's still in good order. I believe it's got a rubber seal on the inside with a spring that you can just manually flush. Same with the relief valve also. I could flush that one and test it and so on. So yeah, well, I bought the products, came back and started removing the element, draining the geyser, everything like that. And yeah, when I wanted to put back the element, the flange and the flange rubber wasn't lining up with each other. So I had to adjust the rubber a little bit. Luckily, I had my scissors with me, so I could adjust it because it wasn't lining up exactly. I think that is a manufacturer's fault. I checked everything on my side. It wasn't my fault. So yes. However, it's in. It was leak tight. Tested everything. Yes, when I turned on the water at the thermostat, I had some problems. So I had to remove it, tighten it again, make sure it's properly in, and put it back. And yes, all done. No leaks. Then after that, I wrote down all the non-compliances of the geyser, like for instance, the drip tray. It did not have sufficient support in the center of the drip tray. So it had good slope, but it was sagging in the center. So it was keeping water a little bit in the center, but still the drip tray was draining, no problem. On the drainage of the drip tray, there's two 90 bends, as you could see in the video earlier when I identified that there's leaks on the drainage of the drip tray. Yes, I did mark that on the non-compliancy. I did, however, not repair it at that moment. I just prevented the leak from damaging the floor, or the ceiling. and I continued with my work. And yes, like I said, I did give the client notice of the non-compliances. For instance, the polycorp pipe going into the relief pipe, uh, that's not right. That's non-compliant. The standard says it must be a metallic pipe, copper at least. Well, copper. No 90 bends must be on it. Same with your drip tray drainage. I have found that if you have got your 90 bends on your drip tray drainage, um, the drip tray drains a lot slower than usual. With the 45 bends, because a drainage is a gravity fed, it drains a lot easier and faster. So 90 bends gives resistance on the drainage. That's something to keep in mind for future, especially me liking working on drains and so on. So yeah, but anyhow, um, and I told him about the non-compliance and did my work, and then after that he showed me also a galvanized pipe that he noticed was leaking for a while, and he asked me, okay, listen, just repair it for me or replace it. And I went, checked everything, got the material, and I took out that pipe and put it in. Yeah, I replaced the whole galvanized pipe from the hot water supply to the house. I replaced that galvanized pipe with polycorp. It's more than a meter away from the geyser, so copper is from the geyser to the polycorp, so it's still within the compliances. And yes, I anchored my pipes and I made sure everything is good and finished off the job. No leaks, no problems. Client was happy, I was happy. And yes, like I said, I informed him about the non-compliances, and he said, yes, I will come back and I will just fix the small minor non-compliances. Luckily, that is very small. It's nothing major that's going to cause damage. So I did tell him, okay, we've got time to fix it. So yeah. Thank you. I hope you enjoy my videos, and I hope I gave enough information about this. And yes, please subscribe and follow me. Let's see. I'll be loading videos about solar geysers, electrical geysers, mostly drains that I unblock. I'm a drain jetter. I like working on drains. Uh, Sometimes I like sorting out other people's shit. Um, I don't want to work with their shit, but I rather sort out their shit. So yeah, working with drains is quite easy and nice. And yeah, however, I'm a specialist in solar geysers and electrical geysers. Well, I was trained by my master, and thank you, Chris Abbott.